Hello, beautiful people. It's Lulu. Welcome to the Lulu Essey podcast, where we do things differently. No editing, no polishing, no fancy studio magic, just honest conversations that stay exactly as they happened. You know what? F waiting. That's right, I said it. Because today we're talking about being absolutely, unequivocally effing fabulous. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you finally, fill in the blank, right now. And yes, I can almost hear you thinking, but Lulu, I'm not fabulous right now because... And that's exactly why we need to have this conversation. So let me ask you, what are you waiting for? What is stopping you from claiming your fabulousness? What needs to happen? What needs to change first? Because here's what I know to be true. And stay with me here, because this might feel uncomfortable. Every single time we put our fabulousness on hold, we're buying into a lie. Yeah, I said it. We are buying into a big, fat, damaging lie. And I'm not just saying this as some life coach who's got it all figured out. No, I'm saying this as someone who spent years, and I mean years, thinking when I just ... So let me tell you that story. You want to know one truth? I didn't just have one thing holding me back from feeling fabulous. Oh no, I had a whole goddamn list. My body didn't look the way I thought it should. My bank account wasn't full enough. Well, is money ever enough? And don't even get me started on my relationship status. I didn't even have one to speak of. But wait, there's more. I was convinced I wasn't cool enough. Yeah, like we're still in high school or something. And my social life? Well, let's just say it wasn't exactly what I thought I needed to be qualified for fabulousness. And you know what the crazy part was? Every time I achieved one thing on that list, somehow another condition would magically appear. It was like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much of myself I poured in, it was never enough. Let that sink in for a moment. And if you haven't caught episode 9 yet, go back and check it out. Check out the Enough framework. It lays the foundation for what we're talking about today. But back to this episode. Today we're building on that framework, we're building on that foundation, but we're taking it somewhere completely different. Because here's what I realized over time that changed so much. All these conditions, they weren't actually about being fabulous at all. They were about being enough. And that's where this gets really interesting. Because once we understand that we are enough, right here, right now, being fabulous becomes something entirely different. It becomes an act of revolution. Yes, I said revolution. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. We're not here to fix anything because nothing is broken. We're here to bring awareness, intention, and action so that we can goddamn be our fabulous selves. Okay? So what does this revolution actually look like? And no, I'm not talking about that fake it till you make it stuff that's floating out there. That advice that basically tells you to pretend you're fabulous until somehow magically you become fabulous? Yeah, no, that's not what we're doing here. Let them do that over there. We're doing something else here. This revolution is about something much more powerful. It's about claiming our right to be exactly who we are, to take up space, to be seen, yes, seen, in all our glory right now. And let me tell you why this is revolutionary. We live in a world that profits from our self-doubt. Think about it. How many industries, how many products, how many solutions exist because they've convinced us we need to be fixed. They need us to believe we need to be fixed so that they can profit off our doubt and not enoughness. And here's the thing. Being fabulous isn't about fixing anything. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about removing the barriers we've put between ourselves and our natural fabulousness. And we didn't put those barriers there because we did something wrong. We just bought into the lie. We all did. And that's okay. We know better now, and we can do better. Let me say that again because this is so important to me. Your fabulousness isn't something you need to create. It's something you need to uncover. We all do, because it's already there. It's been there all along, just waiting for us to claim it. And I know for some of us, this is an outrageous idea, completely bonkers. Claim my fabulousness? Yeah, right. And I'm here to say, yeah, right. Let me share something with you. The other day, I was working with a client. Let's just call her Zaza. She's a brilliant designer who consistently delivers amazing work. But every time she gets on a Zoom to present her ideas, she shrinks. Even though she's not in person, her body language says it all, even over Zoom. She's a fully remote worker. And here's what's wild. She was doing this while presenting work that was absolutely knocking it out of the park. So we talked about what would happen if she just claimed her fabulousness in that moment. Not by changing anything about her work, not by becoming some loud, obnoxious, over-the-top version of herself, but by simply owning and stepping into her natural brilliance. And you know what she asked me? She said, "But Lulu, isn't that kind of arrogant?" And this is where we need to have a real conversation about the difference between arrogance and owning your fabulousness, because they are not the same thing. The thing about arrogance is, arrogance needs to make others feel small so that we can feel big. But true fabulousness, it lights up the whole damn room like a disco ball, baby. When you own your fabulousness, you actually make space for others to own theirs too. Yes, I know it can sound a bit touchy-feely, but when we own our fabulousness, it's like we secretly, well, not so secretly, give the people around us permission to own theirs. Take a moment and think about somebody in your life who owns their fabulousness. Not in a showy way, but in that kind of quiet, confident, this is who I am way. And to be clear, some people are naturally showy, and that's equally okay and beautiful. The point here is around not being arrogant. Don't those people who own their fabulousness somehow make you feel you have more permission to be yourself? Don't they somehow make the room feel bigger, not smaller? And that's what Zaza discovered when she started owning her brilliance in those Zoom presentations. Just straightening her shoulders, keeping her eyes up, looking directly into the camera, speaking with confidence about the work she knew was good. Something magical happened. Not only did her ideas land better, but other people on her team started showing up differently too. They started sharing more freely, taking more creative risks. Because that's the thing about claiming your fabulousness. It's actually an act of service. Yes, you heard me right. Claiming your fabulousness is an act of service to yourself and others. When you dim your light, when we dim our lights, when we shrink, when we apologize for our brilliance, we're not just doing ourselves a disservice. We're denying others the permission and the inspiration to shine too. And we're denying them of our brilliance, our beauty. So let's talk about how to actually do this in real life. And I'm not going to tell you to stand in front of the mirror saying affirmations. But if that works for you, go for it, because there is power in affirmations. But this is a different conversation. What I want to talk about are tiny, practical, doable ways to claim your fabulousness in everyday life. So let's start with something I call fabulous micro moments. These are those small opportunities that pop up throughout your day when you can choose to either shrink or shine. Yes. See the connection to the mental fitness micro deposits? All these tools I share work together, and when you get in the flow with one of them, magical things start unfolding. But let's get back to what I was saying. Fabulous micro moments. Like when somebody compliments your work or compliments you. Instead of deflecting it with, "Oh, it was nothing," or "anyone could have done it." What if you simply smiled and said, "Thank you." That's it. Just thank you. No need to minimize. No need to explain it away. Bite your tongue if you have to, but resist that urge to minimize the compliment and be self-deprecating. It will be hard in the beginning, especially if you have the habit of this, and so many of us do. That not enough voice is loud, and she's gonna want to speak. But you have to let her know that you run the show now. Or another example of this is when you have an idea in a meeting. Instead of starting off with, "This might be stupid, but," or "I know this is wrong, but," what if you just shared your idea? What if you trusted that your ideas deserve space? Because here's the truth. Those qualifying statements we use, they're not actually making us more humble or more likable. All they're doing is training everyone, including ourselves, to take us less seriously. And if you mess up with this, that's okay. Be mindful the next time. Remember, it's about bringing our awareness and our intention to our lives and taking action from that place. And remember our friend Grace. Give yourself grace, because undoing this may take a bit of time, and that's okay. Be playful, have fun, be light about it. This is not life and death, but it is the difference between a fulfilling, happy life, one where you're always in the shadows. Because we put ourselves in the shadows. And we do that because we didn't know better. And now we do. And so we can be better. And always, always be kind to yourself. I have to tell you, I got a bit messed up with this when I first started these sorts of practices years ago. Because what happened was, when I did deflect a compliment, oh my God, I beat myself up over that. And that was not helpful or kind to myself. So use these tools to support yourself, not to judge yourself and your progress. And listen up. Personal development is not a competitive sport. This is not a race or a competition to see who does fabulousness the best. Be messy, be imperfect, be you, and show up. Let me give you another example of a fabulous micro moment. And this one might make you laugh because it's so simple and so wonderful. You know, when you're getting dressed in the morning and you put on that outfit that makes you feel amazing, or those sneakers that make you feel like the boss, that jacket that makes you feel like you're channeling your inner idol. But then that voice pipes up, oh, that's a bit much for a normal Tuesday. What if you wore it anyway? What if you decided that your joy was reason enough? Because here's what I've noticed, both in my life and with the beautiful souls I work with. We're constantly waiting for special occasions or appropriate moments to let ourselves feel fabulous. We save our favorite clothes, our biggest smiles, our fullest laughs for someday, that day when. But beautiful people, what if this is the special occasion? What if this random Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is exactly the right time to let yourself shine? Because, and this is important, when you give yourself permission to feel fabulous on a random Tuesday, you start discovering that every day has the potential for fabulousness. And speaking of the potential for fabulousness, let's talk about February. You know, that month that's usually all about what we're lacking, the right relationship, the perfect body for Valentine's Day, the ideal life to post about on social media. Yep, it's that thing called Valentine's Day. What if we turned February into something completely different? What if instead of being a month about comparison and lack and anxiety around what is not perfect compared to Instagram and TikTok and. What if we claimed it as a month of pure, unapologetic fabulousness? Think about it. While everyone else is caught up in the Valentine's Day frenzy, worrying about whether they're enough, we're over here starting a revolution. A revolution that says, I don't need an effing specific day or a specific person or a specific achievement or a specific body look or a specific amount of money to be fabulous. I'm claiming it right here, right now. Let's claim it, beauties. Let's claim our fabulousness for the sheer joy of it. And yes, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but Lulu, what about all the hard, crazy stuff happening in the world right now? Well, that's exactly why this matters more than ever. Because choosing to claim your fabulousness, to shine your light, to take up space, especially when the world feels heavy and full of hate and anxiety, it's not just an act of self-love. It's an act of rebellion. And it's all the fabulous kinds of rebellion. The kind of rebellion that doesn't make anyone else wrong, but allows space for love, for joy, and a little but much needed relief. And here's something that's really magical, and I'm talking big magic here about this kind of rebellion. Because this kind of rebellion spreads. When you show up as your true, fabulous self, when you let yourself shine unapologetically, you create this magnificent ripple effect. I've seen it happen over and over again, and I would love nothing more than to keep seeing it, to keep feeling it, and to be a catalyst for it in the world. How amazing would that be? And it goes beyond just our work lives and our personal lives. When you walk down the street owning your fabulous, yes, in those Boss sneakers on some random day, you have no idea how many people might see you and think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. When you laugh your full, gorgeous laugh in that cafe without worrying about being too much, you give someone else permission to be themselves too. This is how we create change. Not by forcing it, not by following some rigid rules about how to be fabulous. The truth is, there are no 10 steps on how to be fabulous. We create change by claiming our fabulous and creating space for others to do the same. It's really quite simple. Maybe not easy at first, but simple. And taking up space by being fabulous does not deny anyone else of their space. That is not the intention here. There is space for all types of fabulousness. The loud type, quiet type, the nerdy type, the awkward type, the reserved type, the type that comes with glitter and feathers, and the type that comes in a quiet whisper. There is not one kind of fabulous, and there is room and space for all of us. And when you get lost in all of this, just call on our friend Grace. Keep it simple. Love yourself through this. Don't judge yourself, and don't beat yourself up through this. So, here's what I want to invite you to do. This February, let's start an effing fabulous revolution together. I'm not talking about some huge, overwhelming challenge. Remember those fabulous micro moments we talked about? Let's just start there. Here's your invitation. Every day, let's ease off and try. For most days, some days, this February, I want you to catch one moment, just one, where you can choose fabulousness over shrinking. Maybe it's wearing the outfit that makes you feel amazing. Maybe it's sharing that idea without apologizing for it. Maybe it's letting your weird, wonderful laugh out in public. Maybe it's just saying thank you when someone compliments you and not deflecting it away. If enough of us claim our fabulousness, if enough of us choose joy, if enough of us take up space, we might just change the energy of this whole month. It starts on the inside, always. And from there, it spreads. It grows. The magic multiplies. Beautiful people, we've been on quite a journey today. And I've been quite hyped up about this conversation about self-acceptance and personal transformation. We've gone from those sneaky, not enough thoughts to claiming our fabulousness. From fabulous micro moments to starting a revolution. And I know some of this might feel big, might feel scary, might feel like, well, who the hell am I to be this fabulous? But remember what we said at the start. Your fabulousness is not something you need to earn, and it's not something you need to create. And nobody gets to validate or invalidate your fabulousness because it's already there and it's been there all along. And claiming it, that's not just a gift you give to yourself. It's a gift you give to everyone around you. So this February, let's do something different. Let's make this a month about uncovering our natural fabulousness, about taking up space with joy, and about creating those ripples of permission that might just change someone else's day. And if you find yourself hesitating, if that not enough voice starts piping up again, remember, you've got Grace in your corner, and you've got me in your corner, and you've got a whole community of beautiful people ready to be fabulous right alongside you. And all we need to do is start. One small, imperfect, but brave and beautiful step at a time. Start the fabulous revolution right now by hitting share on this episode. And don't wait to share the episode. Do it now. Let sharing this episode be your first step in claiming your fabulousness and giving someone else the chance to do the same. And please rate and review my podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Doing this helps other beautiful souls find this message, and it helps me immensely. And speaking of revolutions, beautiful people, next week we're diving into something I know many of us are experiencing right now. that constant buzz of anxiety, that background hum of uncertainty that seems to be everywhere. We're going to open up our mental fitness toolkit and explore some real practical ways to find calm when everything feels off balance, off center, misaligned. And I'm not going to tell you to just stay positive. You know that's not how we do things here. We're going to get honest about what it really takes to stay grounded in uncertain times. So beauties, get ready for Anxiety and Uncertainty, your mental fitness toolkit for finding calm. It's going to be a powerful one. And before I go, I want to let you know that I have a free guide on my website to help you with what I call the success trap and why chasing achievement is keeping you stuck and how to break free of it. Check it out and share it. It's absolutely free and you can find it on luluessey.com. And as always, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And today, like every day, this comes straight from my heart to yours. And it comes with an extra sprinkle of fabulousness.